Sales is freedom and sales is control. When you teach a woman sales, she will never be broke again for the rest of her life. There's always something to sell. You can sell yourself in a job interview. You can sell any sort of product. You can sell your own stuff for your own business. And when you have your internal security, not external security, that is when you have true financial freedom and true security in your life.
Shelby, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I'm literally so excited to dig
too.
into this topic. Like, we have an hour, but we could go a long time.
I could go all day.
You could go all day. I know. I watch your Instagram. I'm like, it's probably one of my favorite Instagrams, to be honest, because I'll tell you why.
Post a lot, so that's a
why.
compliment.
No, I want to tell you why, though, because
Okay.
truly, anybody who is in the social world right now should be taking notes because of your ability to capture things in the moment.
For sure.
Because I really believe like that authenticity is what people want.
Yeah.
Like they just want to know what the thought is. They don't want it to be edited.
For
and you're
sure.
really great at like, I had this thought.
Yeah.
I had this life lesson. And you really look at life as lessons. And I love that.
Well, and it's like on the content side, everybody thinks that the best content is filmed sitting down, reading a ChatGPT script. And people are just seeing through the BS of content right now. So I feel like, you know, when you have a good moment or a good thought in your head, and rather than just sitting, to have your camera out, your team, and to read a script, like just get out and film it. Because then it rolls up better off the tongue and it's just more genuine that way. So and it's easier in my opinion.
I'm literally like, how can I get your notifications? Because I'm like, I think I can. Because
I don't know if you want them. I post like 3 times a day.
It's not even about like watching all of the content. It's a reminder to turn my camera on and just start talking. Because I used to be super good at that. And you had some content come up like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, I'm just going to turn this on while I'm in my bathrobe in the morning. And I did it 3 times and they did amazing.
For sure. Yeah. Well, it's funny because I feel like we're stepping into the age of edutainment, which is we're kind of getting away from informational content only, where it's like, these are the best 3 tips to do blah, blah, blah. Totally. It's like everybody can get any sort of information on ChatGPT at any time. So I feel like adding in your personality, even if it's not perfect, the way that you say things, like that's what makes you special. So yeah, I love it.
What would be your, your advice to people who are trying to attempt to do that? Like, do you edit a lot? Or are you kind of just like, I'm just going to literally say this, edit a little bit and post?
Oh yeah. I mean, so a couple of things, like the more abrasive you can be and the more, what's the word? Controversial. The more controversial you can be when you take a stance, that's what people like. People don't love content creators that are like super wishy-washy or pandering to whatever the masses say, which in today's day and age, everybody wants you to post about, the things that you should say right then and there. And it's like, no, like if you believe something, say something. And that's what makes you, you know? And then I would also say a lot of people try to just cut the line and become an influencer when influencers are broke, but who are rich, mentors and online coaches. So what that means though, is you can't just straight step into, I want to become, an online mentor and post content. It's like, no, you actually have to have a skill behind the content. That way somebody actually wants to listen to what you have to say rather than just you have fancy editing skills. So a lot of people kind of skip the step of becoming the real deal first before talking about how you got there, which is my biggest pet peeve, because a lot of people come up to me and I mean, same thing. They're like, oh, I love your content. Like, I love the way that you say these sales tips, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, the reason that I can pull out my phone and just yap for a minute about some sort of sales tip is because I did 6 years that nobody saw, when I wasn't in front of the camera. Yeah. So it's like, people kind of skip the first step, which I think bleeds out into your content if you don't actually believe and know what you're saying.
We're going to get to all of the sales stuff, you guys, but I actually think this is a huge part of being able to do it, is that content piece. And I think you're absolutely, like, you're nailing it right now with just the ability to continue to show up on your phone. Do you plan it out, or do you have certain things that you plan out?
So the way that I do it is I only really like to film when I feel good. Like there's sometimes where I'm just like too busy doing a bunch of work stuff and you don't want a camera in your face all the time. So if I have an idea during that kind of a weird time, I'll write it in my notes app. Yeah. And I have a whole notes list of like different ideas. And then when I feel the energy, when I feel good, when I have a little caffeine in me normally, then I'll pull out my phone and be like, okay, what was the one I wanted to film? Okay, cool. Also, bonus for this is writing voice notes. Like I love recording voice notes because the way that you say the words you can kind of replicate, which sometimes I'll read in my notes page and be like, wait, what was I thinking? That was stupid anyways. So yeah, it's like I just have thoughts throughout the day and my whole life is sales. My whole life is running my sales academy, teaching these girls sales. So it's just something I naturally think about and see the lens through. Like I got a tanning salon, like 8-minute tanning bed thing the other day. And the way that the tanning bed guy was selling me, I did a full breakdown. I was like, guys, I just got sold a $200 tan. Here's exactly how he sold me. And people love it. So it's just like when you really are who you are and you see the world through that lens, content gets so much easier to do throughout your life because it's just you kind of reporting back what you found throughout the day.
Oh my God, totally. I look at my whole, because I podcast 3 times a week. Right. This will be year 10. It's insane. Like, how do you find so many things to talk about? Because I do a lot of like solos. Sure. Yeah. It's the exact, my notes apps, they're like, they go off. Like,
it's so fun though, because you get these little ideas throughout the day. Totally. It's like, it's cool to exercise your creative brain. And like, that's what you're doing too. So it's awesome.
And the more you do it, the better you get.
For sure.
It's like, so that's my question to you with like turning the camera on. Did you feel like sucky at first? Did you get better?
Dude, I thought to myself, it would be a disservice if I didn't shout from the rooftops what I know. So the way that it all started out was I was doing door-to-door sales and high ticket sales. I was making like over $100,000 a month in sales. And I remember scrolling on TikTok.
Like for someone else?
Yeah, for other companies.
For other companies.
So I remember scrolling on TikTok and my whole For You page was like sales tips because that's obviously what I do. So I'm seeing, I mean, not to name names, but I love all of these people, but like Daniel G, Jeremy Minor, these guys approaching the sale, being like, you guys should say this to close someone. And I was watching it and I was like, if I said that, it wouldn't work. Like, no, like you shouldn't. And I looked up sales tips for women because I really wanted to follow someone. Nothing on social media. So I was like, wait, maybe this is why there aren't that many women in sales. So I just pulled out my phone and I was like, okay, guys, everybody's telling you to say this. If you're a girl, that will not work. Say this instead. And then I was just talking about how I approach the sale as a woman. And how I tweak a lot of the things that we're taught from men to say. And all of these girls were like, I'm in sales. No one's ever explained it like this. Like, I love your confidence. Train me. And then when I had thousands, literally hundreds of thousands of women messaging me, hey, can you train me? That's kind of how I started my company.
I love that so much because my career had started in like gym membership or gym training sales.
Oh, cool.
I worked at LA Fitness.
Nice.
And made $6 per 30-minute session, but they made us sell the training packages.
Really?
And
did you get commission?
We got commission, but it was like hardly anything. Yeah. And you were, well, no, it was awful because you got $6 per 30-minute session of the person that you had to sell. It was so bad. Yeah. It was so bad. So I started my own gym after that.
Of course.
But with that, I remember like the way that they had taught me, I was like, I'm not going to do any of that. So I'm going to do a different approach. And you kind of like, I kind of learned this, sales technique that worked for me. And then also took that into network marketing, which was one of our biggest ways that we ended up making money. Yeah. So I am obsessed with sales because I also sold cell phones and I had to learn like, it's funny. I excelled in every single one of them because I went off script because I learned my own script. So that's what I'm so excited to talk to you about today is because women are very different. And I was completely all taught by men. For sure. And I worked with all men and they're like, how are you selling all of these people? And I was like, because whatever you're doing is totally wrong. Because I'm not saying what you're saying. Wrong.
If you want to have a different result, you need to do something different.
Exactly. Yeah. I was like, they're not motivated in the same way that you are. I know what they want because I want it too.
Exactly.
And so it just like took me down this road of writing scripts for myself until I would get them right. I was like, oh, that one didn't work. Okay, I messed up here. My objection wasn't good. Or, overcoming that objection didn't work. Let me try a new way. It was just like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of calls that got me to a great place. So with that said, I want to know, what have you noticed, because you work with women and you're like, this form of sales is not working for women. Right. Why is it different for women? Why do you think? What have you found?
Yeah, well, it's interesting that you say that, because the data from Forbes back this up. Women are 11% more likely than their male counterparts to close a deal. So we are better at closing deals on average. That's the data. That's not me talking, okay?
That's the data.
But when you look at the whole sales force, women only make up 34%. So it's like, get more women. The women that are in sales constantly do better numbers than the men. But then it kind of begs the question of like, why are women so good? But also like, why aren't there more women? Exactly what you said. Because it is like a figure it out yourself kind of mentality when you are a woman in sales. Because you look left and right and up and down and it's all guys, you know? So it's like you're being taught something that's different. And I think there's a little bit more of a learning curve if you don't have someone to directly mentor you, to directly tell you like, don't say that, say this. And so bringing it back though, the women that do figure it out or do get a mentor, or do get training for this, they close more deals because we're more empathetic. We listen. We don't talk over people often. And we're easier to open up to. You know, like a sale is only made when someone really opens up to you about their pain points, about their hesitations and their objections, of course. And you can only really get that magic sauce, that like deep level of a conversation, if they feel comfortable at the end of the day. So physically, just being a woman helps with that as well, but also learning how to establish frame quickly, because women run into an issue, at least in the case with a lot of my students and myself, is getting someone to respect you. Because people will talk to us all day long, I'm sure you know from the gym, but it's like, they might waste your time, you know? And it's like so frustrating if people are just wasting your time all the time. And then you're so drained that when you actually come to a qualified buyer, like you don't have the energy to actually roll objections. So I found myself in the position where I'm like, I'd rather someone just slam the door in my face or hang up on me rather than waste my time just because either they feel bad because I'm like a young, hardworking girl, or like they're just trying to talk to me because I'm a pretty girl, you know? So you have to do a couple things as a woman in order to really establish frame. One is like, just get straight to the point. Like no funny business. Women try to establish rapport right off the call, right off the bat. And it actually does a reverse kind of perception with your client. A lot of people think that they're being nice by starting a sales conversation saying, oh, where are you from? Oh, that's so cool. My brother went to that school. Like, oh, I love your jacket. Your hair's so awesome. When in reality, someone knows you're going to sell them. So they only know that you're being nice because you're trying to get a commission. So instead, if you flip it and you get straight to the point, address the agenda, you know, justify the reason why you're there, why you're selling, and then you do rapport later on, it comes off more genuine. So that's just like one example of like little ticky-tacky things that I do with the girls.
I love that. What is a way that you have, because for women hearing that might be like a little jarring, like, oh my God, that feels so opposite of everything I've ever been taught as a girl to be liked. Like I can only imagine, which I want to get into some of that, but I can only imagine what we're going against, even just like culturally and how we were raised and like be accepted. And it feels scary to go against that.
Yes. A good metaphor that I tell my girls, because whenever I tell them that, they're like, wait, what? I thought I was supposed to be nice. Like, isn't it normal to start off with a little bit of rapport? Maybe a tiny bit, like 30-second little compliment, but nothing crazy, nothing over 2-3 minutes. The metaphor that I say is like, if your friend from high school that you haven't talked to in a while texts you and they're like, hey, Lori, like, you've been crushing it. Like, that's so cool. Like, good for you, blah, 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 blah. You would see that text and you'd be like, oh, thanks. But what do you want?
Yeah.
You're literally thinking like, what are they going to ask me?
Totally.
You know, and then it always comes with, yeah, let me know if you're hiring. Like, I've been wanting to get into podcasting, want to ask you a couple questions. Versus if someone from high school were to text you and be like, hey, Lori, I know you're doing amazing with podcasting. I would love to pick your brain just for like 2 to 3 seconds. Like, that would be awesome. Follow-up text. Also, I saw you just got 2 dogs. Your wedding was beautiful and blah, blah, blah. It comes off more genuine when the connection is second. Yeah. Because it's not masked by an ask. So you ask
love
first.
straightforward.
Exactly. Me too.
Oh my gosh.
Me too.
At this point in my career too, actually, so I definitely do rapport, but I do it for about 60 seconds.
Exactly.
Like I was like, wait, do I have to stop that?
No, just keep it short. Like some girls will start and they'll go off a tangent and it's like, okay, you are the sales rep. And I always tell girls to think of themselves as the doctor. Mm-hmm. So it's like doctor walks into a patient's office. They're not like, they might be like, hey, how's your morning going? But they're not going to build 5 minutes of random rapport with you before asking. They're going to get straight to the point because they're busy. They want to solve your problem. Like that is why you are there. You're not there to make a friend with every single person. You're there to solve people's problems. Mm-hmm. And then we talk about, how to build genuine rapport. Because rapport around, oh, your hair looks great. Where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. It's good. It's very surface level. Mm-hmm. Real rapport is actually built around solving someone's problem. So when someone's opening up to me about, oh, I've been going through this. It's really hard, blah, blah, blah. That's where you can establish real rapport. Because it's like, dude, I get you. Like I was in that one point as well. Like I know exactly how you're feeling. That kind of deeper sense of rapport helps you in the long run rather than just the surface level stuff. Mm-hmm.
I want to ask about some scripts and things around that are just some things that, people can do to kind of get initially through that. Like it's kind of that beginning point that I found when I first started sales. If I could make it through that kind of awkward beginning point to get to the question of getting to know someone,
for sure,
then I'm like, okay, now I'm in. Like I'm in. But it was always like this tidal wave of like, oh my God, I just need to get in there. Yeah. What are some ways that you have taught people to establish rapport? And what does that kind of look like? What are your couple questions that you do?
Right.
And then how do you actually get into knowing what the problem is?
Right. So every industry is going to be different on how you actually start the sales conversation. If you're talking to cold leads versus warm leads, like cold leads, when I was doing door-to-door sales, knocking on people's doors, you can't just start with questions. You obviously have to justify why you're there, why they should spend the time with you, elicit curiosity, all the things. But with my students, they talk to all warm leads. So it's, someone that took an hour out of their day to sit down and talk to them. So they have a little bit more time. And the way that I teach them to do it is like, hey, Lori, nice to meet you. Like super excited to get going. I'm looking at your form that you filled out. Give me a second here. Okay, cool. So it looks like you booked with us to get possible help with this. That way you can do this. And you think that this and this can possibly help you get there. Does that sound about right? Yeah. Okay, cool. We only have about 45 minutes and I'm booked. I'm sure you're super busy as well. So is it cool if we just kind of jump right in? Yeah. Okay. Questions. Easy.
Yeah. Great. And then once you have that, you guys, I'm telling you, sales for me was about scripts.
Yeah.
Because you're not natural at this. Most of us did not see our mom or dad doing this, especially if they weren't crushing it.
For sure. Yeah.
You just
for sure
did not see this. So you think like, oh no, you look at Shelby and you say, oh, she's a natural. No, she learned scripts.
Said it. She hundreds of thousands of times.
Hundreds and learned what every possible objection could be from people objecting to you.
The key is, and I know we'll talk about objections maybe a little bit later, but everybody thinks that the top sales reps roll 10 objections every sale. And, it's this big like crescendo battle where you're just overcoming all these objections at the end of a sale, when in reality, it's not at all. Amazing sales reps are really good at kind of clocking when someone could have an objection later on and addressing it. The scientific way to talk about it is preempting objections, but I teach my girls, you got to clock the objection before it comes up. Which is like, for example, if someone's talking to me and I have like a wedding ring on, and I'm using the words, oh, my fiance and I are thinking about moving here, or we, or us, the sales rep should kind of internally know, there might be a spouse objection a little bit later on. So I might want to dive into, hey, Shelby, have you ever signed up for anything like this in the past? Oh, you did? Okay. Was there anyone else that was in on that decision, or are you just the one to talk to about this? Because if there is a spouse objection, no reason you should sit on a call with them for 45 minutes. You should get the spouse on. Yeah, totally. I love that. Just kind of like seeing and learning what that possible checklist could be. Because there are cues, and people are, once you start asking the right questions, like they're insanely amazing open books. And if you can start learning from them, like I do think that this is definitely a little bit of a game of EQ as well. Exactly. I was going to say, what do you think makes a good salesperson? Can you usually tell if someone's going to be good or bad? And can they get better if they suck? You know what? No. And I used to make assumptions about this. I would hire the girls that were, extroverted, love people, gorgeous. They say they want to like talk to people all day. But when it comes to the monotony and the actual work ethic of sales, which is, getting on calls when someone tells you no, sitting there and maybe rolling a few objections or going through a script, or onboarding people, sending up follow-up texts, like it's a real job. It's not something where you can just, it's not the same as going to the bar and making conversations with people, like kind of, but it is monotony. You do have to, and it's more you have to turn your energy on when you need to turn it on. Like sales does not care about your personal life. It's like you could have a terrible day. You could get pulled over. You could get broken up with that morning. But your client doesn't know that. So you need to almost
You can't tell them.
No, and you can't tell them.
Never tell them. Ever.
No, never make the sale about yourself. The sale, I always say a good rule for sales is 80-20 rule. 20% of the time you talk. 80% of the time your client talks. How do you get them to do that? Well, the 20% that you're talking is mostly question.
So good. Okay, so real quick before we keep going deeper on the sales stuff, I do want to bounce back just to kind of the mindset of sales and what a lot of women have to overcome. Because my God, when I was in the network marketing company, holy shit, trying to get these women to not think sales was sleazy or to be really excited about what sales is. Right. I just got so excited about the fact that I had the opportunity to go into somebody's life. Here's what changed for me. Because at first I was like, I was raised super religious. I thought money was bad, like all the things, it was like sales are whatever. And so for me, what flipped it for me, because you kind of have to find these things in your head, that is. So you can just run through a wall.
You have to brainwash yourself. You have
to brainwash yourself. Mine was like, I get the opportunity to be the possible person who interrupts a pattern. Right. And is the person that says, no one is fucking telling you that you need to do this thing. And I'm going to be the person to do it.
What I always say is sales is not manipulation. It's emotional leadership. So you have to be a leader throughout this client emotionally. So you are helping them through a decision. You're not forcing a decision on them. Nobody will take out their credit card and spend a couple grand because they feel forced to do so. It just doesn't happen. But the way that you really just attack sales and kind of flip your mentality is I am so sold on this product. I'm sold on myself as a helper. I have conviction in my voice. I have confidence in what we've done for other people. And I know this person has something worth solving because they're sitting here, they're talking to me, they know they're getting sold something, so they obviously have a problem that's worth solving. And you have to tell yourself, if I let this person walk out of this sales conversation, I did them a disservice because I can't help them. And that's when it comes into, you have to have conviction in what you're selling because people buy your eyes before they buy anything else. They don't buy from you if you halfway believe in it. So I always tell my girls, I'm like, the very first layer of foundation when becoming a saleswoman is you have to sell yourself on you. You're your first sale. You have to say, I deserve to make money. I deserve to be in a position that's uncapped, that doesn't have a floor, but it also doesn't have a ceiling. You have to have so much conviction in what you're selling because somebody will get that energy. Sales is an energy transfer. And if they can tell that you are fighting for them to have a transformation, at some point they will be like, okay, there must be a reason that this girl is so convinced about helping me. And the way that you tangibly do that, though, because it's easy to hear and be like, okay, well, how do I actually do that? Whenever you get into a new sales business, an offer, whatever, go through kind of the program a little bit, see what it is, look through the different testimonials, look through the reviews, look through the wins, and really just feed yourself those data points of success stories. That way you can talk about them, obviously, but that way you also know too, people really do get their lives changed by this. And so this person, me pushing, is actually helping them. And when you really tap into sales as spirituality with helping someone, that's when you make more money, yes, but that's when you actually enjoy it and it becomes more of a longevity career for you.
Have you found obviously being in rooms with people is what has gotten you so rooted in that as well? That's what it was for me. I was like, put yourself put yourself in the rooms with the people. Like go do, and I don't want to say the dirty work, but some things that people aren't willing to do.
I always tell girls, I'm like, you guys are all here because you want to build a beautiful, soft life for yourself, right? You want to be able to go work out, drive a nice car, have the money to travel. Like you want to live this soft, beautiful life. I think every woman does. How do you get that though?
Real down and dirty, girls.
You gotta look ugly. You have to be stressed. You have to be frantic. You have to, you know, like you gotta be a hard worker in order to build that life for yourself, you know?
It was ugly.
Oh yeah. Dude, like I was sweating in 120 degree heat, knocking on doors. I still have scars on my knuckles.
Love this for you.
Yeah, ridiculous.
I was raised Jehovah's Witness, so I was selling the Bible. But
talk about the hardest sale ever to people who don't know.
This many people,
right?
Shelby,
dude,
0. My whole life knocked on doors,
bro. Well, I mean,
that's why I'm like, I love your story. I'm like, it's all the same.
Thank you.
I was just selling God.
Yeah.
Actually, unfortunately, I'm like, you need to go. I just want to like set up appointments for religious places for you because I'm like, you guys are selling the wrong thing. You're selling fire and brimstone. You're doing it wrong.
Right.
Like,
well, it's also like, I mean,
different.
A lot of people, it's, you know, a more like abrasive sell because it's like, I don't even want to listen to you, get off my property, you know?
Yes.
So props to you. That's awesome.
I'm like, if you got a hold of them, they'd be converting left and right.
Yeah.
Everyone would be giving up their holidays. We'd be knocking on doors.
But you're like, don't put me out there to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Women always think when I get into sales, I'm a saleswoman. And I want you to completely just throw that away.
Okay.
And I want you to step into a different kind of mindset and character perspective. I'm going to talk about 2 things. Number 1 is I want you to become the organized psychopath. So you need to be maniacal about your work ethic. So what I mean is organized. Let's break this down. Organized. You need to rely on data in order to build confidence. You can like fake it till you make it, tell yourself these little affirmations, but we all know that's very surface level, right? In order to truly believe that you are the best, you need to be able to look at data of yourself because data doesn't lie. You believe data. Everybody does. So what kind of data? How many people are you talking to? What's your closing rate? You know, how many objections do you roll before you get off the call every single time? How many follow-up texts do you send out? Because as long as you are focusing on the data points that you can control, which are what you do, not if they buy or not, that's how you build true confidence. And then the second part of, you know, this organized psychopath phrase comes up, which is psychopath. You just have to be—
I've got that part down, but the other part, I'm just
bro. Yeah, no, me too, Loki. But you need to be a literal psycho. And what I mean by this is like, you almost need to be a robot and to just say, I'm leaving my emotions at the door. I'm leaving, you know, who I am at the door. And I am stepping into this character of somebody that can help someone. So for example, everyone's going to have a different character. If you are selling real estate, guess what? You're the real estate girl. When I was selling even door-to-door pest control, I was a character. I was the bug girl. I would paint my nails green. I had these little ladybug earrings, and I brainwashed myself into truly believing that when I'm in a neighborhood, everyone loves me. Everyone wants to offer me water. If they have another pest control company, I'm so sorry they had to go through that. Like, I'm going to switch them over and it'll be all better. Like, you have to be a literal psycho and distance yourself from who you truly are. Because there can be different versions of yourself. Because like when I was 18 years old, starting out doing door-to-door sales, I was just a little blonde sorority girl from Arizona. Who would buy pest control from that? Nobody. So I brainwashed myself into believing like I am the bug girl with the best product to sell. I'm going to help people's bugs go away. Like, and the reason I use that example is because it's so left field, just to show you, you literally can do anything. So organized psychopath, and then you have to create a character out of yourself that you step into every time you do sell. Because it's also kind of a mental trick too. When people reject you, they're not rejecting, you know, Shelby, the 18-year-old sorority girl. They're rejecting
bug
Shelby,
girl.
the bug girl.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
No problem. You can
that's not 100% me. That's just like a part of me, you know? So little mind games you have to play with yourself. Or for example, whenever someone tells you no or is rude to you or yells at you or just blows up at you, which will happen all the time. I tell my girls to feed themselves BS context around a no. So for example, if you call someone and they just blow up on you, okay, no problem. Maybe she just got pulled over this morning. No problem. Maybe she, just found out some really bad news this morning. Like, not my problem. I'm going to go to the next person.
Totally.
Even though that's not true, it just helps you really digest the mental side of rejection.
Oh, I love this. It's so crazy. After this many years, I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, I love that I had figured that out throughout the years. But that has been so helpful. Like the compassion part for people. You have no idea what is going on with people.
For sure.
Like they, maybe they've had a bad experience before and they just throw that bad experience.
Exactly.
It's like dating.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're taking that former experience and throwing it on you or whatever happened. And there is a huge, just like you said, I think that is like vital, separating yourself from taking it personal. You can't, nothing in business can you take personal.
No, there are some times where you just have to take things as surface level and have to be like, okay, this was the result. No problem. I'm moving on.
Yeah.
Because I can help somebody else.
Yeah, totally. For anyone that doesn't know me, I have started a lot of businesses, and I will tell you that every single one came with so many worries and so many fears. It can be really terrifying because there are so many questions that you don't have the answer to. What if no one listens to my podcast? What if nobody buys my products? And I am so grateful that I have started all of them, especially Glossy, and that I believed in the launch of my products, because despite all the fears and hesitations, it also helps when you have a partner like Shopify on your side. And Shopify is what I use for Glossy. So you can get started with your own design studio with hundreds of ready-to-use templates. Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store that matches your brand's style. Accelerate your efficiency, whether you're uploading new products or trying to improve existing ones. Shopify is packed with helpful AI tools that write product descriptions, page headlines, and even enhance your product photography. And what if I get stuck? Shopify is always around to share advice with their award-winning 24/7 customer service. It's time to turn those what ifs into with Shopify today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/happy. Go to shopify.com/happy. That's shopify.com/happy. If you're just starting your business or you're looking for a really good foundation in your business, start with Northwest Registered Agent and get access to thousands of free guides, tools, and legal forms to help you launch and protect your business all in one place. Build your complete business identity with Northwest today. Northwest Registered Agent has been helping small business owners and entrepreneurs launch and grow business for nearly 30 years. They're the largest registered agent and LLC service in the US with over 1,500 corporate guides, real people who know your local laws, and can help you and your business every step of the way. Build your business identity fast with Northwest Registered Agent and get access to thousands of free resources, forms, and step-by-step guides without even creating an account. Sign up for a free account to begin managing your business hub with lawyer-drafted operating agreements, bylaws, resolutions, membership certificates, bills of sale, and more, all at no cost. Don't wait. Protect your privacy, build your brand, and get your complete business identity in just 10 clicks and 10 minutes. Visit www.northwestregisteredagent.com/earn free and start building something amazing. Get more with Northwest Registered Agent at www.northwestregisteredagent.com/earn free. So when you were getting just around that topic, when you were getting into sales, did you get a lot of flack from people and your friends at first? Were they just like, this is oh God, this is gross, or whatever they say and think?
I came home one day and I told my mom, hey mom, my friend from high school told me he got rich doing door-to-door sales. I'm going to go out to Minnesota and sell pest control this summer. She goes, no, you're not. And the night before I left, she got $1,000 cash, put it on the dining room table. And she goes, Shelby, if you do not drive up to Minnesota tomorrow, not only can you keep your 3 jobs that you have right now, because I was always working a ton of things, but I'll also give you $1,000 cash. And I looked at the money and I'm like, to me, I mean, $1,000 was a lot for being broke and 18 years old. I was door dashing, right? So I'm like, damn, $1,000? And I was like, no.
Wow.
I'm going to go. I have this thing where it's like whenever someone tells me to do something, I literally do the opposite. But I think that mentality gave me a different result because I always did something different than what everybody else told me to do.
Yeah.
So even my mom being like, because also I went out to Minnesota in 2020. So what was going on in Minnesota in 2020? George Floyd riots. So my mom was like, my sweet little pure daughter is not going to where the riots are right now. But you have to do different things than everybody else around you in order to have a different result. And even through that, like my first summer, I made 70 grand in 3 months as a little 18-year-old.
I mean, that would have blown as at 18. Well,
I thought I was a millionaire.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like,
I came home, I was buying all my friends' drinks. I'm like, don't worry, the tab's on me.
You buy like 5 Kias.
Right. Dude, I know. But even then, even when, this is the thing though, even when the like result is here of like you doing something big and it's coming back to you, you'd think all of your friends and your family would believe it. But even then they were like, oh, cool. Like that door-to-door sales, like internship thing. Totally. Like, okay. They always told me like, get a real job. Like I told my mom I wanted to drop out. She made me finish my master's degree, which I'm grateful for. But at the end of my master's degree, I got job offers back for no higher than $65,000 a year.
And you're like, I made 70K in 3 months. So.
Yeah. Well, that was my first year. Yeah. I did this for 4 years. So at the end of the 4 years, I'm like, I make more than that per month. Why would I ever take a normal job that I thought was the definition of success for me when my like random sales internship that I was just doing for extra money is actually how I'm able to afford my lifestyle now. Like, why would I ever go back? Yeah. It's like when you date an amazing guy that like really treats you, but like takes care of you, you would never go back to like your crusty ex who cheats on you. Like you would just be like, why? You know? So it is kind of like a whole new world opens up, but people are literally conditioned from a young age to treat anything other than the normal path as a scam, as, you know, oh, that's too good to be true. You know, or maybe you're just a one case out of, you know, 100, whatever. But it's because like from a very young age, we're brainwashed that going to school for 16 years, getting a general education degree, getting good grades, getting a normal job, and being hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt is the American dream and it's the normal path. So they literally tell you anything that doesn't fall into that realm is a scam. When I would argue that the normal path will never make you a millionaire nowadays. I think that's the scam, to go hundreds of thousands of dollars into debt, getting taught by people that aren't where you want to be.
Yeah, like, I'm just having this like epiphany around just like where there's, you know, because I went the opposite as well, because I just, number one, I didn't graduate high school, so I was kind of like, well, shit.
Oh, good for you.
You have to figure out how to sell something.
Yeah, everybody thinks that sales is someone's backup plan when it's really like a quantum leap in your career.
Oh my God, it changed my entire life. For sure. It's like, you know, when you look at college and regular education, there's not friction there. There's friction around, yes, you have to do it and you have to show up, but it's celebrated. It's like, good job. You went to school, you did what a good student does. You went and got taught, you learned, now you're going to go work for someone and you're going to keep learning how to have somebody tell you what to do for the rest of your life. And there's so much friction around, there's personal friction around like sales and selling yourself and doing anything that feels worthwhile. It's fucking scary. You have to learn how to be confident, bet on yourself. You have to like, you literally have to figure out how to be another character so that you can't, just like you said, so that you can go out there and like, it's like almost faking the confidence before you have it.
For sure.
And that's, you're going to get paid on the level of, I think, resistance and friction that you are willing to overcome every single day.
1,000%. And I would argue that sales is personal development disguised as a job.
Million%.
If you want to grow into the biggest version of yourself with the best mindset, with the best, you know, way to handle rejection, the best skills to negotiate, to communicate with people, human psychology, that is just a byproduct of being able to sell someone. So you will naturally go through a process of becoming the best version of yourself while you are making money. It's insane. And also I want to add into like the normal path for school is great if you want to become an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer. Like I want my doctors to go through their schooling.
Yes, please. Thank you so much.
Right. Like, thank you. But if you're any sort of like business person or someone that doesn't want to do just like the straight lined path, it's, you know, I would much have rather took that work ethic that I was doing, getting good grades, revising papers, taking tests, and just gotten into more sales, you know? But not everybody talks about it. And I was just talking to my realtor about it today in the car because she was like, yeah, like nobody talks about how sales is where the money is made. Her husband was in med sales and she's obviously in real estate. And she's like, we make way more than any of our couple friends and we're in sales. And they don't even teach you that in college. It's ridiculous. So it's like, if you do want to get the great education and great networking around it in communities, you do have to go into different sideways, you know, communities and different sideways academies and areas and jobs to do it. But
it just blows the roof off of anything because you're selling yourself every day, no matter what. Like,
oh, for sure. Or you get sold every day.
Or you get sold every day, for sure. It's like everywhere we walk into, you're selling yourself. Like, and I think that reputation too goes on. I mean, that's gonna like go so far for you because even with, I have a physical product now, which I've had for like 2 years. And it's,
what is it?
It's a daily beauty supplement. So it's called Glow and Bloat, and you just put it into water and it's for your skin and gut. But I've had it for 2 years, and I will say, like, my sales skill set is what helped me raise money for that company. Like, if I wouldn't have known how to sell, I would never know how to, like, you learn how to storytell when you sell as well.
Yes.
And that is how, like, everyone goes, how did you learn how to raise money? Like, how
it's
did
story
you do that?
selling. So let me tell you a story. So my master's program was like just started that year, very new. It was called MSIVD. I think they call it something different now. It was like very small cohort, okay? The whole premise was you come in with a business idea and they help you revise every part of the business and then you pitch it to investors at the end of the year and a half. It was accelerated. And I was in class with all of these, like everybody was over 35. They had kids my age, right? And so my idea, which we still have that business today, but I don't really work on it that much. My best friend does. It was a CMOS gummy. So kind of similar, like a beauty supplement. Yep. And everybody thought, oh, that's so random. Like everybody was developing softwares, AI, like all these big techie things. Anyways, nobody took me seriously. Fast forward to the end of the program, we're all doing pitch competitions because you pitch to investors. And everybody is up there talking about this software does this, it does this, it has this, it has this, it has this. Cut and dry, no personality. I got up there, and if you don't know what CMOS is, it's like that gel from Erewhon that you like spoonful put in your throat, and you're like, ew, 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 but it's good for you. So ours tasted better, and it was in a gummy form. So when I'm pitching it, I didn't even say a word. I stepped back, and I put a video up of girls on TikTok doing the spoonful of CMOS and going, and then I laid a gummy out for every single person. And I was like, okay, you guys can try this now. Same benefits, different delivery, different brand association. And I won the pitch competition out of everybody. And I got all the funding for that business. So because I told a story and because I intertwined the experience, let people touch it, let people see it, let people understand the emotional benefits behind the deliverance of actually taking the product. So whatever you want to get into, whether that's entrepreneurship, becoming a doctor, becoming a lawyer, working at an office, not working, you need to learn sales because that's how you convey a message. Is not by just saying why you're so good or why you want this promotion or why your product is amazing. It's by showing people exactly like the difference without having to tell them. That's true sales, is when people actually, the light bulb clicks in their brain where they're like, oh, I get it. And you can't create that light bulb unless you create the experience through a story.
I think of that all the time when people are like, oh God, sales. I'm like, no, your favorite author is an amazing salesperson.
Right.
Your favorite, you just did a podcast with somebody. Like, can you say who it was?
Yeah.
Okay. She just did a Jay Shetty podcast. I'm like, he's the ultimate salesperson.
For
he
sure.
like sells his message
for sure
every single day. Your favorite people, you only know of them because they knew how to sell you what they believe in.
Oh yeah. When someone tells me, oh, I hate sales, I'm like, what kind of clothes are you wearing? What's your phone? Oh, it's Apple instead of Samsung. Apple sold you. The clothes you're wearing, they sold you. Everything about your life, you've been sold, whether you like it or not. So it's like, oh, you hate sales, but there's a game being played 30 times a day. You're either going to know about it or you're not. And so I would hate sales if I didn't know anything about it because I'm getting sold all the time. So you can stay there, that's fine, because those of us that know sales know how to play the game, and you're actually the ones getting taken advantage of by not knowing the sales process.
I am so grateful to so many people who were so convicted by their message that changed my life with things.
For sure.
I think of that all the time. I'm like, thank God to the woman who freaking took me 6 months to sell me on network marketing to finally do it, because it changed 100%. My entire trajectory of my life. And thank God she got so convicted and learned it that it now changed my life.
I agree with that, dude. Like so I actually quit my first sales job the night before I was supposed to start. I was in Minnesota. I got there. I was the only girl. They didn't have uniforms for me. It was all these like frat bro type guys. I'm like, what did I get myself into? These like shitty apartments. It was terrible.
I lived there for a while. So now I'm like, where did you live?
Extended stays.
Oh God.
Like the cheapest apartments. Like you had to put coins in the laundry machine. Totally. Anyways, so I call my manager up and I'm like, hey, Dylan, like, this looks awesome. Like, I'm learning a ton. Like, this is cool. But, like, I got stuff going on at home. Like, I'll just come back next summer. Like, I got a lot going on. He was like, no. Like, you're here. There's not just time. The timing's not wrong. There's just timing in what you do with it. So you need to actually do the thing. Or besides you being scared, you can still be scared and actually make a move, and you need to do this. He basically, whatever he said, he sold me on why I should stay. And if he wasn't as good of a sales rep as he was, I wouldn't have showed up the next morning. I wouldn't be talking to you right now.
No. So is he like, you're welcome?
He is. Oh, he takes credit for, I'm like, you brat. But I mean, it's true. Like, there will be some people that come into your life, or maybe you'll find them where they will create opportunities for you, but it's up to you to actually go and do it. Because I could have been like showing up the next day like, okay, I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like, he forced me to do this, whatever. But it's the decision that you make every single day when you wake up and get out of the bed that determines the quality of your life. And that's only you. So whenever someone comes to me and they're like, I hate my life, I hate this, I hate that, this person sucks, my jobs, I'm like, you are fully in control of your life. You can quit your job at any time. You can break up with your whoever at any point in time. You can move, like, let's go. But there's two different types of people in life. There's people with, and this is actually something I learned from my master's program, but it's ELOC versus ILOC. So it's human psychology. External locus of control versus internal locus of control. External locus of control means your thought process is that the external environment that I live in, the people, things that happen, traffic, my job, they affect me. And I'm a victim of my external environment. And the world sucks. Like, it's not my problem that I'm unemployed and the economy's bad. Okay, the economy can still be bad, and there's other people ripping it right now, right? And the people that are ripping it right now have an ILOC, which is an internal locus of control, which means I believe that I am the driver and creator of my environment. I believe that internally I can change whatever is surrounding me depending on what I do every single day. And those people succeed and the other people don't. That's what it boils down to. It's no, fancy opportunity, fancy luck, fancy connection. It's no, everything that pops up in your life, are you creating it or are you responding to it? That's the difference.
Oh my God. I got taught early on, E plus R equals O, which is almost exactly what you're saying.
What is that?
Event plus response equals your outcome.
Oh, yeah.
And it would always be like, okay, the same exact event could happen to you and I. Like, I would talk, when people would come to my event, I would open with this to set them up and be like, some of you are going to get a lot from this, and you know this from your events.
For sure.
Some people, it's going to fucking change their life. Other ones are going to be like, she took my money.
Exactly. But you talk to the people that it's going to change your life.
Exactly.
Because you can't affect
to them.
Yeah.
And so I would open with that. I'd be like, some of you are going to leave and you're going to say, I took your money and you didn't get anything from this. What's going to be the difference? And I was like, it's going to be how you respond and what you take from this. So
it's true. I love that.
It's going to be, what do you get from stage? And are you going to take advantage of every single one of these women who are here, to meet them, to talk with them, to learn from them?
For sure.
Or are you going to go home and you're going to say, nope, they took my money?
It's true.
I'm like, you got to set people up, because that is life.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, every single thing that happens in your life, there's two different stories that you can pull from it. You can either pull a positive story or a negative story. So how do you make sure that you pull the positive story out of it? Always. Is you focus on the positive data points. There's positive data points and negative data points to anything involved in life, but it's which ones you focus on gives power to which story that you feed your brain, and that feeds the response that you're talking about and how you affect that environment.
Oh my God, I love that. Okay, let's talk about, I've heard you talk about leverage points. And so I want to learn a little bit about that. And also, you know, sometimes depending on who you talk to, they'll be like, well, you don't really want to talk to their pain points. You don't want to sell from such a negative place. But I think that's really important as well to know that.
Right.
So tell me about leverage points and what that all means and how we can use that and how someone would use that.
Right. So whenever we're talking in sales and we say pain points, people are like, wait, what? You have to create pain with your client?
Yeah.
I mean, yes and no. The kind of thought process behind it is that selling someone the positives is like, cool. Like if I told you you could have this, that would be like, oh, cool. But there's not urgency built around it because you don't see the opportunity cost of not doing something.
Right.
So you actually need to outline, you know, what someone's going to gain from a conversation. You also need to outline what someone is right now losing by not making a decision.
Yes.
So for example, if a couple of my students are on like a fitness offer, okay? So if a client comes to them and is like, you know, wanting to join this fitness program where they advertise a KPI of 4 pounds lost per month, 1 pound per week is healthy weight loss, okay? Someone could say, oh, this sounds cool, but I'll just start it later, right? Like I'll just do this like when I get back from my wedding, when I get back from my trip, like whatever. The salesperson's job is to essentially build urgency and kind of create pain around indecision. How do they do that? They outline something called COI, cost of inaction. So how do you do that? When you're talking to this client, let's call her Stacy, and you ask her, you know, discovery questions. So where have you been on average the last couple months? How many pounds have you been gaining? Like, what does that actually mean? Quantify that for me numbers wise. She says anywhere between 2 to 4. Like, okay, let's just say 3, safe. Every month that you delay this decision, you're not just not losing the 4 pounds, you're actually on average gaining the 3. So if this takes you 6 months to actually put your foot down and make a decision, 6 times 3, I'm really bad at math, 18, right? That's plus 18 pounds. So that's one side of the equation. But the other side is if you were to make the decision right now, you would be minus 4 times 6 is 24. So the opportunity cost and the gap between this client Stacy is I'm either going to be plus 18 or I'm going to be minus 24. So you are selling, what is that number? 24 plus 18. 4. Please help me.
42.
42. Okay, great. See, you don't need math in order to be successful. There you go. You can keep
math
this
is
in.
not the path for me, my friends.
Yeah, but you're actually selling a 44-pound gap.
Yeah.
So by the decision that Stacy will make today depends on if she's going to be 44 pounds heavier or lighter in 6 months. When you actually know this, you will fight for Stacy.
Yeah.
And sales is not about convincing someone to do something. It's about mathematically showing them the gains versus the negatives and saying, it's up to you, Stacy. Like, here is the facts. You are getting on average this amount. If you don't, do anything, this is where you will be. If you do something about it, this is where you will be. It's fully up to you though. I want you to make a decision out of empowerment. And then the second layer is empowering people to step into a new version of themselves. Because a lot of the buying atmosphere is created around, do I actually believe that I have the ability to do this? Because a lot of people will say, oh, that looks cool, but I don't know if I could get the results for myself. So it's empowering people. People only make decisions out of empowerment. They will never make a decision if you make them feel like shit. That's why guys suck at sales. Because they'll be like, Stacy, you're either going to be this or you're going to be that. Versus it's, hey, Stacy, I understand, there's a lot of emotions that come out of weight, but it's you are, the pure fact that you are here talking to me is enough proof that I need in order to literally recommend to you, you will be able to do this. If you can spend an hour on a call with me, you can spend an hour in the gym. And also in 4 months or in the 6 months, when you do reach this, dude, text me. I always love when my clients come back and they text. So it's just a couple little things that you can do to speak life into your clients. But also when I say selling with pain, you're really just outlining the negative side of indecision, which is reality. It's like the leaky faucet metaphor where it's you don't see the drips that come out of a faucet until you put a bucket under it. So your job is to put the bucket under the opportunity cost that people don't actually materialize. That way they know, I don't walk out of this conversation the same. I don't just get to delay. If I choose to delay, I am choosing the negative side of the equation. And that is how you build true urgency around a decision, because you didn't sell with pain, but you just outlined with her and literally did the math on a logical basis. this is the reality if you don't do anything to fix the problem, you know?
When I was in network marketing, you had to figure out like what problem you were solving and what they were living in every day. Like exactly. Like that. Like Stacy is uncomfortable in her body every day. And I think we can understand, like, especially once you start to like have these conversations, and because it's a woman to a woman, this is why this is so powerful.
Oh yeah.
You know what it feels like to not like your body and have events coming up and life keep lifing you. And like, you know that you need somebody to say, hey, what's going to change?
Right. And so a tangible way to actually step into that, because you're so right, for anybody listening, is I always give my students an empathy map. And it's literally, it looks like somebody's face, a drawing, and it's your client. So whenever you are in a business or you get into a new sales thing or you're dealing with a new type of client, you need to think to yourself, what do they see on a day-to-day basis? What do they hear on a day-to-day basis? What do they think on a day-to-day basis? What do they say to their friends on a day-to-day basis? What are the positive parts about their days? What are the negative parts about their days? So good. Sales is all about stepping into somebody else's shoes, meeting them at where they are at and helping them better a part of their life.
Oh my God, it's so good. Okay. Let's also talk about, which also you kind of, we were kind of getting into, but sell the sizzle, not the steak.
Yes. So nobody buys what it is. They buy what it does for them on a day-to-day basis. So if you're selling, well, let me explain, sell the sizzle, not the steak. So my grandpa came up with it. He used to do door-to-door sales because he had a safe company. So he would go door-to-door and sell safes.
Amazing.
I know. I would have him in my back pocket while I was doing door-to-door sales. And he would be like, don't say this, say that. Anyways, so he told me, sell the sizzle, not the steak. I'm like, literally, what do you mean? He said, when you drive by an In-N-Out, do you want to go to In-N-Out because you saw it on the map? Probably not. You buy because you literally smell it. It makes you, I need this right now. Oh, it's right here? Okay, perfect. Let's go. People buy the sizzle and the experience, the dream, the vacation. They don't necessarily buy what it is. So different leverage points mean this. You can sell a steak 10 different ways. Whatever you are selling, you can sell it 10 different ways to 10 different people. A steak could be medium rare, could be well done, could have different sauces on it, could be, there's different ambiances around a steak. That's what people buy. So if you're selling the fitness program like Stacy could want to lose weight. She could want to gain weight. She could want to maintain. She could be wanting to get fit for a wedding. She could be dealing with health problems where it's more preventative. Like, you have to know the leverage points of your buyer, because sales is all problem and solution, but people have different problems, different pain points. So you need to know what makes Stacy kind of like tick, like what will make her motivated to buy. If you're talking to Stacy, she says she has a wedding coming up in 6 months. That's the pain point. Your wedding's going to come up, you know, regardless. How do you want to feel when you walk down the aisle? How much is that worth to you? Well, it's probably worth everything. Well, I'm not asking for everything. I'm just asking for $5,000 on a payment plan, right? So you just need to understand that you are not pushing product. You're simply taking a step back and asking like, well, like, take me through what you're going through. Like, what do you want? If this was a successful partnership, what does that look like to you on a day-to-day basis? If we were to wave a magic wand right now, you wake up and everything went perfect. Take me through your day. That is what Stacy's buying. Stacy is buying the emotional benefits that she will get on a day-to-day basis when this problem is solved. So now that you gathered the problems through question-based selling, not just selling, the solutions just plug and play. And so everybody makes the mistake when they're selling of going through every feature that's included on their offer.
I fall into that sometimes too. I'm like,
for sure,
you're going to come here for this mastermind and it's 2.5 days and you're gonna get this and this. I'm like, oh my God, they can't hear anything. Right. Because it's like, how are they going to be? What are they going to let go of? How are they going to stop hating themselves over certain things? You know?
Exactly. And a good formula for this is feature plus benefit. So whenever you are talking about your product or service, whatever you're selling, it's this is what's included. And what that's going to do for you is blank. In your case, what are you selling? Like mastermind or something? Okay. And we have, let's say Zoom calls once a week. If I were to just leave that up there, what does that sound like? That sounds like homework.
It's horrible.
Yeah. Why would I want to show up to a Zoom call? Like,
that's awful.
I want to go to dinner with my husband. You know what I'm saying? So we have Zoom calls once a week. And what that's going to do for you is now you'll be able to have live accountability and mentorship from me. That way you don't feel alone throughout the process. After all, your network is your net worth. Wouldn't you agree? Yes. She's buying network is my net worth, mentorship, accountability, not feeling alone, energy on the calls. That's what she wants. She doesn't want, homework.
No.
So you always state the feature and then you always bring it back to what this person cares about. So that's the formula.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And then mixed with your map of empathy and also like getting in their brain. That is, oh my gosh, that's been some of the most powerful exercises. So everybody listening, first of all, we're going to, make sure we have everything of yours linked below, but it's really stepping into being them and how they're thinking and how they're being and asking the right questions around that. I love it. Okay. So we're going to overcome 6 objections in 60 seconds. Are you ready?
Let's go.
I'm going to look at my timer.
And before we do this, I want to tell everybody in the audience, I'll teach you the real way to actually overcome objections, which is to actually have empathy with your client, talk through a conversation with it. But for this quick little exercise, it'll just be quick punches, which obviously you wouldn't just do a quick punch and somebody buys, but it's just
you're on the
good
phone
to
and
know
you just turn it on.
Right. Yeah. So I'll give you a whole objection handling long formula, but for the exercise, let's just do the quick punches.
This exercise, we're doing 6
I gotta
objections.
Go quick. Yeah.
Overcoming 6 objections in 60 seconds. Okay,
let's go.
Are you ready to take your business's marketing to the next level? Meet Brevo, the all-in-one marketing and CRM platform built to help you connect with customers, boost engagement, and grow your business smarter. With Brevo, you can manage all your customer interactions in one place. Nurture leads with their built-in CRM, reach your audience through email and SMS, and keep them coming back with powerful automations. But here's where it gets really exciting. Meet Aura, Brevo's AI assistant. Aura helps you craft smarter campaigns by suggesting personalized content, optimizing send times, and even analyzing performance data to help you improve your strategy in real time. It's like having a marketing expert on your team 24/7. And of course, Brevo offers advanced analytics, seamless integrations, and AI-driven personalization, everything you need to create multi-channel campaigns that hit the mark every time. Get started for free today or use code HAPPY50 to save 50% on starter and standard plans for the first 3 months of an annual subscription. Just head to www.brevo.com/happy and take your marketing further with Brevo and Aura. You know that moment when a meeting ends and someone says, let's remember to circle back on this next week. Everyone nods, but no one writes it down, and next week rolls around and everyone forgets? That's why Granola exists. Granola is an AI-powered notepad built for the way real people actually meet. Here's how it works. You take rough notes like you normally would, and in the background, Granola securely transcribes the meeting. Then it turns everything into a clean, structured, actually useful notes when the meeting ends. And the best part is that Granola works through your device's audio, which means it integrates seamlessly into the video conferencing tools you already use, and there's no setup and there's no awkward bots. It's just your normal meeting with superpowers. So you get to actually listen instead of frantically typing every word and still walk away knowing exactly what was decided, who's doing what, and what comes next. And I have to tell you that before using Granola, my meetings were very much the classic entrepreneur chaos where I jumped from mastermind calls to team meetings to partnerships, scribbling notes everywhere, then spending extra time afterward trying to piece together action items or remember what we actually decided. So the first time I saw Granola's notes after a meeting, I was honestly shocked by how organized and complete everything was. It felt like getting my brain back. Now I can actually stay present in the conversation instead of worrying about capturing every single detail. So if you're in a season of big vision, big conversations, and a lot of moving parts, Granola makes sure nothing falls through the cracks. If meetings are eating up your day, Granola is a no-brainer. You can try it totally free for 3 months. Just head to granola.ai/earn. That's granola.ai/earn to get your time back. Get 3 months free at granola.ai/earn. I'm hitting the start button.
Okay.
So it is too expensive.
The price or the cost? Because the price is what you pay today. The cost is what you pay months down the line when this doesn't get solved.
Okay, I want to think about it.
A lot of people think they need time, but what they need is actually intentional time to make a decision with information, which we have 10 minutes left of the call, and I've got all the information you need.
Oh, okay. I need to talk to my husband.
Oh, and you will. You're either going to come to him with a problem or a solution. A problem being, hey, honey, can I do this? What do you think about? Or a solution, hey, honey, I made a decision to do this. I'm so happy that you're going to support me.
All right. I don't have time.
Do you think not having time right now is the problem, or is that a symptom of the problem? In other words, you being a very busy business owner, let's buy back more of your time. That way it's not a problem in the future.
Okay, but I saw a bad review.
How many?
A bad review.
Oh, just one? Okay, awesome. Well, we have like 8,000 people that have been through the program. So I'd say seeing 1 out of 8,000 is actually a pretty good, success rate.
Okay, that is good. I tried something similar and it totally did not work for me.
You're married, right? Just met your husband. He's awesome, right? Okay. Have you had an ex-boyfriend before?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to let one bad ex-boyfriend stop you from finding your forever? Probably not.
No.
It's the same thing with this. It's like if you still have the goal, which I'm guessing you probably do since we're talking right now, why would you let a bad experience stop you from achieving that goal, right? And I would also argue you're in a better position now to make a more informed decision because you know what you like and what you don't like. So tell me a little bit more about what you like and what you don't like, and I'll see if we could be a good fit.
Do you take American Express?
Yes. Pay in full.
Paid in full.
Yes.
Amazing. I mean, even having those in your back pocket. So one of the things, you guys, I want you literally to save that portion because things like that, things like scripted, things that you can go to, I kept them on pieces of paper next to me. If you guys just wrote out or had, if you print out what Shelby literally just said.
Digital flashcards, yes.
So that when you get it, because it's coming.
When
you get it, multiple times a day,
yeah.
All you do, you're on a call, you look over at your paper, and at first you feel like a fucking robot reading it, right? You're trying to get it, but then all of a sudden, by the 10th person, and let me tell you, if you're really good, you try to get those 10 in one day so that
for sure.
Next day you can be much better. But so that by the 10th person, all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, that was so easy. Like I did it and I'm so proud. Sales becomes this crazy thing.
Oh, it's fun. It's like a game.
Once you learn that, you're like, oh my God, that felt so good and it felt so true. And it was me. And I feel proud of myself and I feel proud that I moved this woman into action. Inaction is miserable.
It's true. Yeah. Sitting in the gray sucks. Like being in a constant state of, do I do this? Do I not? Sucks. I want someone to either leave a sales conversation with me with a fuck yes or a fuck no.
Yeah. Totally.
I'm not letting them leave in the gray.
No.
For their own good, but also for my mental sanity and my bank account. But when we talk about rolling objections, though, it's easy to see, okay, I just say price or cost or problem or solution or time or information, right? Those are the reframes. So I'll give you guys an objection framework of how you would actually roll an objection.
Okay.
It's called AAAR, like a pirate. Arr, okay?
Arr,
yeah. Lady. So it's agree, ask, answer, and reclose. So the agree and the ask are always the same for me. It's the agree is you want to just neutralize the tension, remind them that you guys are on the same side. It's us against the problem of the decision. It's not me convincing you, right? So the agree is like, I hear you. I totally get that. Like I would be the same, like some sort of like neutralizing phrase. Okay. Mine is I hear you. Because I don't ever like to agree to somebody's objection. Like, yeah, it is expensive. You don't want to affirm their limiting belief. So it's always, I hear you. And then the ask is, can I challenge that belief? Not can I challenge you, because that's combative. It's, I hear you. Can I challenge that belief? Can I challenge that perspective for a sec? You always want to ask for permission before you reframe somebody's belief, because objections are just an external representation of a limiting belief in somebody's brain. Because somebody that said it's too expensive has probably been in a limiting mindset, lack of abundance around money their whole life. They're always too worried about the cost rather than the benefit that they're going to get from it from investing. So you can't just tell someone, oh, it's worth it, because they're going to be stuck in that thinking. So the third A is answer, and that's the reframe. So that's everything I plugged you with, which is like, I hear you. Can I challenge that belief? Yeah, sure. Why not? Okay. Are you referring to the price or the cost? Well, what do you mean? Well, the price is what you pay today. And a lot of people see that as the cost, right? And it's not my job to force you to do anything, but it is my job to outline the cost of, not doing something. And that's where I would walk somebody through the cost of an action, the pounds being gained, the opportunity cost of not making X amount of dollars that I believe you could make by staying in a position that you are. So whatever the opportunity cost is. And then the last part, is the reclose or redirect back to the sales conversation, which is as soon as I did this fancy reframe and it really just got in someone's head, now I need to direct it back to the sales conversation. Because you can't just leave someone on the edge on a cliffhanger and they're like, okay, well now what? Because every single time they'll be like, yeah, that's true. And if there's silence, they'll be like, I still want to think about it though. Because they're in control. And when they are in control, they just always want to, I'll just take a day or so, right? So you need to be the one in control. And in control means redirecting it back to the sales conversation, which is a decision. So it's any sort of close, an assumptive close, an assignment close, an option close, or whatever. You can also hold the mirror back to someone like Stacy. So it's like, now that you know the difference between like the price and the cost, like I'm not here to force you to do anything. Like, which one are you okay with paying today? The one-time price that we can split over a payment plan, or the opportunity cost of X amount over X amount of time. That's going to mean these negative emotional benefits for you on a day-to-day basis. So you basically minimize the price, maximize the cost.
Okay, that's like the perfect segue into what I want to talk about, and that is more of the close. Because for me, for most people, right? The call went great, and then they are so afraid to go in there with the close of it.
Let's
even
talk
like what
about
you
it.
just said probably made people sweat a bit,
for sure.
And for some reason, I learned a script. I don't remember how or where, but someone gave me a script for a close, and I just like started closing and learned how to do it. But what I had to overcome was this wave of fucking emotion that felt like it was going to take me down every time. Right,
your
before
heart
the close
drops
in the beginning,
and you're like, I'm about to show them the price.
Yes, and I just wanted to die and like curl up. And that happened in the beginning, but it got so much better than I'd get excited for the close. And even still, like you feel that emotion. But let's talk about, tell me all of the ways that we can like transmute the energy around the close.
So when it comes to the energy, you need to ease somebody into it. So it's kind of like showing someone, and this is just something I'm coming up with right now. It's like showing someone around a pool and being like, this pool's gonna be great for your kids, blah, blah, blah. But like getting into the pool, it's like you can either shove them in the pool and just hit them with the price, and they're gonna be like drowning, like, wait, what? You know? Or you can have them like kind of dip their toes in, like get in a little bit, sit in the chair. So that's kind of a metaphor for what I train my girls, which is soft closing. So you need to do a couple of soft closes before you get to the hard close. That way it just flows better and doesn't feel forced. Yeah. But you also get micro commitments. So what do I mean by this? Well, an example is, let's say the hard close is showing the price or the different payment options or the different packages, right? Yep. Before I would do the hard close, which is closing them on the commitment of price, I would do a soft close, closing them on the commitment of anything other than price. You can use anything. I like to use time, energy, attention, opportunity cost, right? So if I'm closing someone, before I even show them price, I'm like, okay, first of all, let's just take a step back. What were two things you really liked about the process that you think would be a game changer? I like this and this. They're selling me a little bit on the process, okay? The buy-in though, the soft close is this. Okay, well, I mean, it's gonna take a lot of like time and energy, I'm sure you know, right? Yeah, okay. Do you think that you right now are in a spot in order to commit X amount of time over X amount of time, X amount of days, X amount of energy in order to solving this problem? People always say, well, yeah, I can commit this time. I can show up to the calls. If I want to get this result, I need to show up to this, time or calls or whatever. Okay, awesome. Let's talk about how to help get you there then. Now I commit them to the price. So getting some sort of commitment from anything other than price eases you into the close because they know that it's coming up then. Instead of you just presenting something and being like, okay, yeah, awesome. So we have this package and we have this package. Which one did you want to do? It sounds too much, right? It's too much at once. So we let them bite off a little bit before we give them the whole cookie. Okay, so it's like, do you feel like you are at a time in life right now where you can digest 2 hours a week in order to commit to achieving X result? Yeah, I can make time for that. Okay, awesome. Let's actually figure out how to get you there on a realistic basis. So we have this package, we have this package and this package, and then you can close them. Yeah, I love that. It's when you find the segue, everything just becomes like, it becomes logical. You no longer feel afraid of the close. You actually get like, now excited. Here's how we're going to solve it. Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny how the energy literally for them, they're not weird about seeing what it is at all when you can learn your segue. And again, guys, everything with this, you can go back and write down literally word for word what you said and that you can play with those segues, have it next to you in a flow
and it's going to rock your world. And even saying it at first, like you're going to feel a little scripted. You're going to feel nervous. You're going to kind of like, oh my God, I would never do my first sales calls on Zoom. Right. The amount of faces I've made and the amount of like reading scripts, I'm just like,
yeah.
Now what?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about like leaving, like, you know how you have to leave space sometimes and it feels like people over talk, like they just fucking over talk and then they lose the sale because they over talked when the person just needed you to say the sentence.
Yep.
Like they need that segue and they need the close and you need to kind of, what happens? Tell us where that goes wrong.
Silence is your biggest power play.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think once you close someone, which is, hey, the initial investment in order to get XYZ result is just going to be $6,000. A lot of people think they need to say, and like I said, that's going to be over 6 months though. And we also have payment plans, but like, what do you think? Do you want to do it? Gonna get you that. Yeah. And we can literally start tomorrow. Blah, blah, blah. No, the power is in just keeping it simple. I always talk about closing as like, that's your kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. It's just, and the initial investment in order to get XYZ result is just gonna be $6,000. Or we either have this one or we have this one. Easy, option close. I always like to use the metaphor of going to Starbucks, which all my girls obviously love going to Starbucks. But it's like when you order your Starbucks drink and then you go up to the window, what does the barista do? Are they like, okay, so for your vanilla iced matcha latte, it's just gonna be $8,000 or $8. You're like, no, that would be weird, right? What do? You roll up to the window. They're like, okay, awesome. Vanilla iced matcha. Yeah, okay, cool. It's going to be $8. And they're like doing something on the side, right? It's like a cash collection, okay? The close should not be where you sell someone because they should already be sold before you pitch them the price. The closing and the pitching of the price should just be cash collection. Let's make this a reality. Boom, boom, boom. And answering simple questions about a payment plan, financing, blah, blah, blah. It's your cash collection. And it's like, I also want you to think of the doctor too. So it's like the doctor doesn't come in and he's like, okay, so your antibiotic for this thing that's really hurting you right now, you're going to take it over 6 weeks. And do you want to do this pharmacy? Like, is that okay for you? It's a little expensive. Like, no, he's like, okay, this is the solution. This is what I'm prescribing you. It's CVS or Walgreens. Okay, cool. You can pick it up tomorrow. Like, that's it. You can go get your prescription. There's no room for negotiation. And closing is all about your energy. Because if you are scared to show somebody price, the energy comes off and they immediately know she doesn't believe in the price of what she's selling because her energy is anxious. She's anxious and kind of like scared to show me the price. Versus if you really believe, like, girls come through this and they make X amount of dollars, like, the investment is nothing compared to what you can make on the upside of it, like, obviously. And then you pitch with that energy. It's just like, awesome. And the initial investment is just gonna be $6,000. Easy. When you minimize your energy, somebody minimizes their response. So the energy is almost a little minimized. It's not like, okay, this is gonna be $6,000 crescendo. No. Awesome. It's just gonna be $6,000. The response is minimized instead of, well, blah, 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 maximize response. So that's why I say sales is all about energy. And this cash collection mentality of just like, let's wrap the sale up in a bow rather than, are they going to buy my present or not? It's just that energy is over time, yes, but you can shorten the amount of time that it takes you to really embody that by forcing yourself to pay attention to the energy that you have when you do show a price. So
I think at first it's like, you can't get that until you do it a couple times.
For sure.
You know? So in the beginning, it's like, just fucking say it. Like, just try to say it in the way that you think you should say it, of what the energy you just described is. And I remember just saying it and being like, okay, I'm gonna be quiet. Just
for sure.
The fuck up. And then you like gain the confidence. But then my next question to you, just on top of that one, is like, okay, we're nailing it. We're like selling. We feel great about that price, but we realize we're underpricing ourselves. And so it is kind of just that jump to go up where you're like, oh shit. It's kind of the same exact idea. But the first time you raise your prices, like, tell me about one of the first times you raised your prices and just like, what was the feeling and how did you I know you probably rolled out with it same exact way you just told me, but tell me some of the feelings if you remember.
Yeah, the feelings when raising my own prices. I mean, I never had any sort of doubts because as you grow your business, your costs incur. Like when you're talking about practicing and stuff, like we have 9 coaches on coaching staff, and we also have a She Sells AI that I just wired 150 grand for the next couple of months to have this AI up and running. Yeah. So it's like all these costs incur, and then you start seeing the results of like, I just had a girl make $52,000 last month. From her house talking to warm leads when she used to be a bartender making $4,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So do I think that she regrets paying the amount that she paid to get into my sales academy? Fuck no. Yeah. She'd make that investment 8 times over if she had to again. So it's like when you truly do see the results that you are having in people's lives, in order to impact even more lives and in order to impact those lives even better, you need to raise your prices. So it's like, I just think when you truly know the value that's there, because you have data points of that value of what you can do, you have no hesitations in raising your prices. I will say though, it all comes down into the value that you feel like you can provide. Because when I was in door-to-door sales, they raised our pest control prices from $600 a year to $900 a year. And I was like, this is not worth $900 a year. So
you felt it. You're like, oh God.
And I felt it. But I mean, even though I didn't believe in pest control nearly as much as, I do for my own business, but it's like, you just kind of fake it till you make it in the beginning. Fake that energy of like, yeah, for sure, everybody pays $900 a year for pest control. Like what? But that's just the energy that you have to have. It's non-negotiable. So even if you have to fake the confidence and the conviction at first, it'll get easier over time when you get the reps in.
Oh my God, yes. Okay, so we'll wrap this all up, but why do you feel like women really, like what does it free women from if they can learn how to sell? Like, why are you so convicted? I know there's a million reasons, but if you could just like speak to the woman who is listening right now, like why does she need to overcome any random, crazy fear that she has to do this?
Sales is freedom and sales is control. When you teach a woman sales, she will never be broke again for the rest of her life. There's always something to sell. Every company needs salespeople. You can sell yourself in a job interview. You can sell any sort of product. You can sell your own stuff for your own business. You learn how to create money out of thin air using just your words. And that sort of confidence in your skill set, in your ability to talk and create money out of the ether will give you the confidence to go for more risks in life. Because, for example, I know right now, if I lost everything, if social media went away, if my business went away, like if I lost everything right now, I would be able to make over $100,000 a month right now as a sales rep. And my lifestyle wouldn't dip at a single time. That sort of confidence that you have as a woman will create higher standards for you in every room that you put yourself in every relationship, the value that you bring to the table, in friendships, in your time, in, a job. When you know what you are worth and when you have your internal security, not external security, that is when you have true financial freedom and true security in your life. Because everybody thinks that, again, going back to the college thing, everybody thinks that security is in a salaried job. I just saw a post releasing the stats for how many jobs were cut due to AI in the last 6 months. People are losing their secure, safe jobs and they have debt. That is not secure. What is secure is investing into your skill set to become an irreplaceable asset, whether you get replaced or not. How do you do that? You learn how to sell.
So true. So tell me about your academy.
Well, what do you want to know?
What do we do if we want to be a part of it?
Okay, so you are kind of the similar archetype of like who we work for. So it's a very specific niche. We train women on how to go from 0 to 100 in high ticket sales. So high ticket sales is becoming a remote closer for online coaches and mentors. So people like you, people like me, people like Jay Shetty, Tony Robbins, Alex Hermosi, Layla Hermosi, they all have internal sales teams that they don't necessarily advertise. I train those girls. So how do I do that? Well, we take them through a self-trained boot camp. It's everything through role plays with other girls, networking events, an AI to be able to practice. We talked about how you need to practice before you feel comfortable doing something. And then we also have a job finding software with guaranteed certification. So it's like a revolving door of job opportunities within the remote closing niche. And to explain high ticket closing on like a more broader level, you only talk to warm leads. So someone would be following, you know, someone like you, fill out an application to get into your, you know, community or whatever. That application is going to be called by a setter to book a sales call. Closers have the application, they have the Zoom link, they open up the Zoom link, they present the offer, you know, answer a few questions, and when someone wants to join, they get paid. So how much they get paid, it depends on how high ticket the offer is. Anywhere from $3,000 all the way up to some of the offers are like $60,000 for specific mentorships and events. You get on average like 10 to 15% of every closed deal. So if you're on a $6,000 offer, you get paid 6 or 10% commission. That's $600 for a 30-minute call. And you can take those from your house, on vacation, and you choose your own availability. So a lot of the girls that come into my academy, they are teachers that want something to do in the summer and on the weekends, you know, when they're not teaching, or they're nurses wanting to work themselves out of their 9 to 5. How do you do that? Well, your 9 to 5 builds today income. Your 5 to 9 builds tomorrow income. So what are you doing on your 5 to 9 to build tomorrow's income? Well, in remote closing, you can choose your own hours to make some sort of money, see the direct deposits, make sure it feels real. And then it is a real way to eventually quit your job if you do want to at some point. It is a girl-coded job. And my personal mission with starting She Sells Academy, and all women's academy, we're about to cross 10,000 students, which is ridiculous. It is to give every single woman the power, the control, the freedom, and the skill set to do so in order to create her own financial security in whatever facet that looks like. And it's just a girl-coded job because you can do it from your house. You can create your own hours. You can go full force for some months, dial it back some months if you get pregnant and want to like be there with your kids for a while. Like, and you're talking about mentorships that actually change people's lives. You know, networking events, fitness programs, sales academies, grow your social media, get your first brand deal, how to invest in real estate. So they're fun conversations, not like normal sales where you're cold calling 5 times a day and talking about insurance policies or, you know, pest control all day. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's kind of grown into this big machine that's way bigger than me, but it's perfect because it truly is like a one-stop shop to making anywhere between $10,000 to $60,000 in sales.
We'll link that up. We have a closer right now for one of our offers, and she's doing great.
That's awesome.
Great. So exciting.
Yeah. So let's copy the crap out of those girls and put them everywhere on these offers. That's like my personal goal.
And it's like life-changing for us too, because we were the sales machines for a really long time.
Right.
You know, especially when it's our offer, it takes you out of it. And it really, I don't really think that necessarily we should be in the sale anymore.
I agree.
Certain things.
It's the proximity bias.
Yeah.
Which is if you are a coach and you are on your own sales calls for 10 hours a day, you're too tired to run your business at the end of the day. You're too in your business. And clients will know that too. They'll be like, why are you selling me on the call and you're also running it? Like, and you have to overcome objections about yourself. Like, it just kind of feels weird. So having sales teams is how online coaches scale. It's the only way to. The online coaching industry is going to be, it's projected to be $500 billion in 2030. So the only way that number exists is by having closers to process those payments. So,
and people can really understand your program, like, you know, or you can send some of your team to her academy. If you're like, you know what, nobody understands this more than someone who's taken my courses, but maybe they're good salespeople, but they're not the best. Like that is such a great thing to do. Just send people who need some tweaks and like, because they can understand both then. What are you most excited about in your life right now?
Well, crossing 10,000 students is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. A single mom who made $36,000 last month, who used to live at her parents' house while she was going through her divorce, had no sales experience. She was making $0 a month, came to me because obviously she needed to provide for her 2 little ones. She made $36,000 last month. She just texted me this morning. Hey, can you connect me with your financial advisor and your real estate girl? I want to buy an investment property and I need to start investing all this money.
Wow.
That is why I do this. I just got chills because that brings my excitement. Like when you truly find your purpose in life, that is what gets you out of the bed every morning. And like at this point, I've made a ton of money for me. Like that's great. My lifestyle doesn't really change. My joy comes from putting as much money as humanly possible into hardworking women's pockets. And so it's pretty cool. Also, I just got engaged. So
yeah, that's so exciting. When you guys, do you guys have a date yet?
We were looking for end of September, which is really quick, but if it were up to him, he would want to do it like at the courthouse next week. But I'm like, I want to plan a big wedding, do it in Italy and all the things. So we're trying to figure out a date. Oh nobody talks about too how busy women plan their wedding. Because my wedding planner is like, what napkins do you want? What utensils? Like what little like felt flowers? I'm like, girl, I got bigger fish to fry right now.
You pick it.
I'm like, as long as it looks good, I'll be fine. But like, I think, and this is a funny point too, I think women are so hardworking and put so much energy into things when the intention is there. But sometimes the intention is different. You know, sometimes all your hardworking energy and your emotional state gets drained because you're spending it all on a guy who won't text you back. Or, you know, if the guy does text you back and you get engaged, and you're spending it all on your wedding. Some girls take 2 years to plan every single detail of their wedding. And I'm like, girl, if you just put that energy into your career, you wouldn't have a budget for your wedding.
Yeah, totally.
So
yeah, I call those open loops, and it's like on your screen.
Yes.
It's like on your, if you look at pretty much any woman's like laptop, or phone, there's probably
30 tabs.
Like 30 tabs all open, and that's all draining it's draining your battery in the background.
For sure.
Always think of that. So close it out, put it into your career, get the money for all the other things, pay the people to do the things. Tell your wedding planner to bring you 3 boards that you're just going to pick one.
Make it easy. Exactly.
That's what it's going to be.
And I think that mentality that you and I have comes from having to operate at such a high level because we put our position in ourselves in the position to do so. Because when you are bored and when you don't have anything to do, that's when you hyperfixate on things that don't matter. But when you have pressing things that, you know, require you to make decisions, and, you know, you run businesses, or, you know, all of these little things like drama with your friends, or little ticky-tacky things, or you spill coffee on your outfit, or you get pulled over, like you genuinely don't have the emotional energy to waste on things that do not matter. Yeah. So you kind of learn that skill as you grow in your career, which I think is cool.
Okay, promise last question.
Okay.
This is one that I like literally knew I had to ask you.
Yeah,
I'm
of
like,
course.
oh shit, I'm so glad you reminded me. When you grow to where you want, and when you put yourself out there, and when you're making the money that you want, you inevitably are going to get people who are going to talk shit about you. They're going to,
sure.
They're going to go against you. They're going to, like, they make videos about you. I think this was Jay Shetty all the time. You can Google his name. He's got a million videos against him at all times, but he really seems unfazed.
For sure.
And also, like, how have you dealt with that? Because I know it's absolutely happened to you.
Oh, 1,000%.
Like in a major way.
Like,
and like, how
every day there's like
put
3 different videos.
Yeah, exactly. How do you handle it? What do you focus on? What's the self-care? Like, where do you go? Yeah,
so you're either one of 2 people. You're either the person that talks about people, or you're the person that people talk about. And I would rather be the person that people talk about, because that means that I'm doing something right, that I'm actually making a wave. I will get worried when people stop, you know, making videos about me. Then I'll be like, I am not doing enough. You know, I'm not ruffling enough feathers. But I think it's also important. It's good advice that I got from a mentor of mine that, you know, when you do big things, there are losers in this life that will look at what you're doing and they will cling on to it, and they'll try to ride some sort of wave of what you're doing. But that is the first indicator that that person has nothing to offer. So if anyone's watching this, if you follow someone and they make a video, you know, exposing blah, 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 or this girl is doing this, what do we think about that? That's the only way that that person can get views. And whenever I click on their page, every video made about somebody else, the tea, the drama, the stuff that people like to fester about, that's the only way they get views. What a sad life to live, to where you have to think to yourself, how do I provide value to the world through content? Let's start drama. No, it should be, if you have something valuable to say, you say it and you help people and you educate people. Talking about drama and tea doesn't help anybody. So I actually see those videos and I feel really bad for that person. I hope they find God. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. but I hope they find their purpose. Yeah, I hope they find their purpose, and I hope that their audience can have good discernment between like good people to follow to fill your For You page and your algorithms with versus people that just have junk to post on your For You page.
Do you have no emotion around it, or do you feel it?
I mean, in the very beginning, oh, I used to cry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, when I first started sales and I would get the door slammed in my face, I used to cry. So it's just a muscle that you use over time and help like talking to people that are more successful than me, that have gone through big, crazy things. That helped a lot too. Like I remember when the first crazy thing happened to me, I went to one of my mentors and he was like, welcome to the club. That happens to me like 10 times a year. Good. You should get ready for the next one. Yeah. So it's like, it's cool. It's like, you kind of feel like you're in a different bracket and you're like, okay, cool. Like I got something going for me. I mean, and the best thing to do that those people will hate is to just keep going even harder and to never address it. That's the key. That's $1 billion advice. So there
never address it. That's what I was going to ask. Just never, ever let it even look like it touched you.
Even though you know that you could make one video, put everything to rest. What are people going to do? They're going to be like, what's the tea? Who is this person? Now the person that was talking about you just got a ton of profile views through you.
Yep.
That's what they want.
You added gasoline to the fire.
Yeah. You just kind of look at them. You're like, okay, you can stay in your corner. That's kind of sad you made that video, but whatever. I'm going to do the other things that I have to do right now.
I heard the best spiritual quote. It's, a defense is an attack back. And it just literally keeps it going because it asks for more. A defense asks for more. It's literally a punch back. So what's going to happen? You're going to get punched back again. It's like, even if you think it's a block, it's a move. It's
also, if somebody's dumb enough to believe a bunch of online stuff, you're never going to change their perspective.
No.
No,
absolutely not.
That's my stance on it.
Yeah. Well, this was so amazing. I could talk about this all day long.
I know. I feel like the time flew. I look at the time. I'm like, wait, what?
I knew it was your last one. That's the only reason I was like, okay, I know. I'm just going to keep
thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This was a blast. Yeah. I'm going to link everything up, the program, everything below.
Awesome.
Is there anything else you want people to know?
Nope. Thank you guys.
Great.
Bye.
Bye.